is your chance.
To dive into the heart of manufacturing.
This is your chance.
To hear about company culture and people making an impact in the industry.
This is your chance.
To join the conversation with host Jim Mayer in the Creators Lounge.
Hello and welcome to the Creators Lounge. I have the thrill and honor to be joined by Zara Brunner from NIST Manufacturing USA. Welcome to the Creators Lounge.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is going to be a fun conversation. Pardon me. Zara, please give everybody who's watching remotely, here, listening, a background on you, because that's my favorite part of these interviews is getting to know the person and the background and what got them sitting on this couch today.
Well, thank you for the question and the opportunity, Jim. So I was born outside of Buffalo, New York, in Lackawanna, and raised by a single mom who instilled lots of great values in me, including the power of education and the determination to set my mind to something and do whatever it was I set my mind out to do. So we moved when I was young to the rural part of Western New York, but got exposed to Lackawanna steel and small manufacturers, large manufacturers in those rural communities as well. So understood at a young age the importance of those companies to communities, jobs, families. And so decided that I needed, obviously, an education, as my mother had instilled in me. Went to college and then dragged my then boyfriend, now husband, down to DC to change the world. That was my goal.
Good for you.
And thank you. So really had a drive to serve the public and work in public service, but went into, instead, as life would happen, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, as the song goes, went into corporate and legal marketing and business development and management roles for a number of years, had a great career, but then doubled down on what I set out to do and started at NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is part of the Department of Commerce. And with them, I joined a program called the Baldrige Performance Excellence Program. Okay. And they work with organizations of all sizes, all types, on operational excellence, including manufacturers. So I got my first taste to working in manufacturing through them. And then was tapped to join the other part of NIST called the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Program. Yeah. There's an MEP known by a different name in every state, and they are dedicated to helping small and medium-sized manufacturers with their competitiveness across the country. Loved that program. And while I was there, one of the highlights of my career was being part of what we called the co-producers to start Manufacturing Day. So I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but had a great run working on Manufacturing Day for a number of years, and then was tapped to join where I am now. The Office of Advanced Manufacturing was relatively new, just a few years old at the time, and they were looking to grow. And I had built a team and felt really good about where I was with MEP, and felt like this is it. This is my opportunity to serve and continue to do that public good, and love the mission of manufacturing, and thought this would be a new way to contribute to the industry focused on advanced manufacturing. That office is responsible for coordinating Manufacturing USA, which I'm sure we'll talk more about.
That was going to be my next question. Tell us about what Manufacturing USA really is.
It is a national initiative that was created to secure U.S. global leadership in advanced manufacturing. Okay. It does that through a variety of partnerships, public-private partnerships, through manufacturing innovation institutes that exist throughout the country. There are currently 17 of them. Really? Each in their own unique emerging technology, critical technology area. And they bring together organizations of all sizes, all parts of the innovation ecosystem needed to collaborate on technology development, workforce development, and innovation ecosystem or supply chain development.
Wow, that's really amazing. And so talk about some of the finance, really the optimism behind these efforts.
Yeah, so I think if we look at what advanced manufacturing does for the United States, what manufacturing has done to build our country, right?
Yeah.
It's the backbone of the U.S. economy.
Yeah.
We know, taken alone, all the data that is put out, taken alone, manufacturing would be, is it the 8th or the 9th largest economy in the world? Just that industry, right? We know the multiplier effect of manufacturing to the economy. So it drives economic strength. It also drives jobs, good jobs, right?
Yeah.
And provides opportunity for people and communities across the country. So that enthusiasm, that recognition of just how important manufacturing is to our nation, to regions, to people, is what drives everyone in this program. And then advanced manufacturing, meaning the technology that's coming on and the opportunities that exist with advanced manufacturing. The U.S. currently leads the world in advanced manufacturing. Lots of people think manufacturing has all gone overseas. That's not the case.
No.
We lead in advanced manufacturing. And so for us, that is our mission space, to help develop the critical technologies in manufacturing, get them into production. And I didn't explain this, but the secret sauce of the institutes, if you will, they're consortia, but they focus on what's called pre-competitive applied R&D.
Okay.
And they do that technology development in that lane. And that's why it works, because it's pre-competitive.
Yeah.
And so they can bring competitors together to collaborate openly with each other on projects that will test applications for improving processes, making new products, finding ways to deliver things that are going to improve our lives, because we know manufacturing does that.
I love all of what you're talking
Thank you.
about, and I'm excited to dive back in. We're going to take a quick sponsored break. We will be back right after this message.
Additive manufacturing has grown from a niche prototype building process to a production-ready technology enabling new opportunities. It's a manufacturing tool that no one should be without. Building on its annual flagship event in Frankfurt, Germany, Formnext is bringing the most comprehensive, best-in-class additive manufacturing trade show to the United States at Formnext Chicago in 2025.
In my opinion, Formnext is the most important additive show in the world. We go to Formnext in order to find new products to offer to our customers and to get a good pulse of how the industry is doing.
You'll find buyers and sellers there. You're finding and talking to people that are looking for additive manufacturing solutions. And it's everywhere from people who have never worked with additive before to people who have been in working with the technology for a long time and looking kind of for the latest and greatest.
Formnext, the entire ecosystem of industrial additive manufacturing in one place. Join us for the inaugural Formnext Chicago in 2025. Discover more at formnextchicago.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Creators Lounge. Again, we are joined by Zara Brunner from NIST and Manufacturing USA. Really a powerhouse and one of my favorite interviews. I'm glad it was the end of the day because you got all of my attention. Zara, let's talk about the benefits of being part of engaging with an association or an organization like Manufacturing USA. What's the benefit that people see from that?
Thank you. That's a really good question. And I think the benefits for individual organizations, companies, let's just start with them. There's benefits to educators, students, to states, but I'll start with the companies because that's who's out there right now walking the floor
Absolutely.
at IMTS. And we've had conversation around providing a way, we're not selling anything. Right. This is a public-private partnership, so it's for the national good. But it also has to deliver ROI to organizations and to companies. So the institutes all are membership-based. They're industry-driven. The federal government gives some funding, and then they get access to leverage that funding, and they chip in a little bit more of their own. So it's what we call shared risk, shared reward. So you can pool funds and you can collaborate together on projects that would be too hard for any one organization to take on itself. And it's going to benefit the whole industry. So it's getting access to project funding, very basically, to test new ideas, well, they've got to be more than just a new idea. It's in the innovation gap, or the missing middle is what we call it in technical terms, or the valley of death, if you want to be even more dramatic.
Wow, that's dramatic.
On the technology readiness level. So you get access to that innovation space, to work on projects in that innovation space, access to capitally intensive, expensive equipment, test beds, facilities, all of that. So you get the materials and resources needed to test the application of the technology. And then you get access to, if you're a small company, to big companies, so you can be part of a supply chain. Big companies get access to their pipeline of suppliers. And then also you get access to education and workforce development resources as an industry, because we could talk about the skills and the labor gap for a long, long time. So that's, at a high level, some of the benefits from a company standpoint.
Let's focus on that last one, that workforce development side, the skills gap, all of that kind of fun stuff. How does Manufacturing USA help those underserved communities, right? You have Manufacturing Day, MFG Day, which we see in a lot of our communities. How do you guys take that next step and help those underserved or sometimes underrepresented communities find access to these sustainable jobs and career paths?
Yeah, that's an all hands on deck situation for everyone in manufacturing. I mean, just listening to conversations across the show here, and people and partners like AMT, SME, the National Association of Manufacturers, Manufacturing Institute, the folks who are out there raising awareness, like Drew Crow and others who are trying to champion the opportunities that exist in manufacturing and make sure that people know about them. So part of what each institute will have its own portfolio of work that they do in their sector, in their regions, across with their members across that technology area. And DEIA initiatives are definitely part of that, because we know we need to find more people and bring them into manufacturing. There is a place for everyone in manufacturing. And so we need to be creative as an industry to find untapped areas, besides being the right thing to do, besides being, we'll have better innovation, we'll have better collaboration when we have more diversity. But beside that, we need people. We need people in roles. And so looking for places like veterans or transitioning military members. We also have initiatives that institutes have launched with their members to find folks who, again, might not have ever thought of an advanced manufacturing career. Latino and minority serving institutes, HBCUs, partnerships with them and programming for them to bring them in and show them the careers that exist, the pathways into them, and that there is a place for them. That we need to, again, do outreach to all of those organizations as much as we can. We're not going to be able to do that alone. As part of NIST, we're public-private partnership. We have our space, we have our role, but we need our partners. We need our partners across the country to collaborate on that. And we've got some other initiatives too, if I have a minute.
Well, let's jump into those right after our second sponsor break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to The World According to. Join me, Peter Eelman, and Travis Egan of AMT while we travel across the U.S. and talk with leaders of the manufacturing technology industry. Meet these renowned visionaries in personal, up-close settings. Hear how their passion for manufacturing took root and has continued to fuel the ideas that shape our industry today and tomorrow. Watch now and hear how these leaders answer the question, The World According to, only on IMTS Plus.
Welcome back to the Creators Lounge. I am again welcomed by Zara Brunner. Zara, this has been fun so far. We've got another segment to go here, but this is where the magic's going to happen with you, because I know you've got some new initiatives out there, and you started to allude to some of those, I think. Talk to us about those newer initiatives that you guys are working on over there.
Yeah, so as a network, Manufacturing USA Network, the 17 institutes, I didn't get into the agencies, the federal agencies that are also part of that, but there are 9, NASA, NSF, Department of Energy, Department of Defense. So as a network, what we're seeking to do is we've launched a program called Modern Makers. We have them down in the Student Summit, and Modern Makers are the individuals who are in advanced manufacturing, whether that is at an institute or one of the organizations that participates with the institutes, one of the member companies. And we feature them and their story and what makes them tick. How did they get into it? Who inspired them when they were younger? What made them think to pursue advanced manufacturing careers? And what's been their journey along the way? What are their interests? A little, humanizing them.
Absolutely.
And then what advice would they have to their 14-year-old selves? What advice would they have to someone else who hasn't considered manufacturing, advanced manufacturing careers? And how could they get started? So we love Modern Makers. It's our second season, if you will, and we brought them here to IMTS.
That's
Not all
so
of them,
cool.
but some of them. We want to have an opportunity to feature them, but also to bring them and to engage with students and prospective workers, parents, educators.
Because young people don't want to see this gray beard in front of them. I'm not going to get people excited, right? It's going to be the young people like those folks in the Modern Makers that are going to get them excited.
But we do have some gray beards in there because, it does, again, there's upskilling and retraining.
Very true. Absolutely.
That is a part of the programming, right? And so if people look at advanced manufacturing careers as a way to pursue, again, those good jobs with living wage opportunities for their families, that's part of what we're messaging. And so we've got, you had asked about new initiatives, we've got through the CHIPS and Science Act, massive federal investment in semiconductor manufacturing and chip production. Other initiatives, other legislation has been passed as well. So it is really, I feel like it's manufacturing's moment, right? As a nation, we have got to make sure that we can build these things. We can make it here with our American workforce. So there are 2 new competitions that we have launched for the 18th and 19th Manufacturing USA Institutes. One on digital twins for semiconductor manufacturing and the other on AI for resilient manufacturing. So let's make sure the U.S. leads in these technologies. Let's make sure that we keep that here. So those are two brand new institutes. So we'll probably have an announcement next month from the Chips for America program on that institute. And then the AI for Resilient Manufacturing Institute, those concept papers, those proposals for the next institute to be are underway. And then opportunities for people in manufacturing to participate in each of those institutes as well as the existing ones.
That just warmed my heart. I mean, both of those are absolutely amazing, it sounds like. And I'm excited to dive a little deeper into those offline with you. But how can these people that are here today, how can the people who are watching virtually, how can people who are here today who go share this message, what's the call to action for all of us?
Thank you. So I think like I said earlier, it's an all hands on deck situation to make sure that we in industry are championing the resources that exist out there, that we're leveraging each other's advantages. And so this program, Manufacturing USA, exists to be a resource for manufacturers. So go check it out. Find a way to connect with an institute depending on your technology needs or interests or opportunities. So get involved, I would say, would be a call to action. We have a booth over in the North Hall, if you're still at IMTS, to stop by there, Manufacturing USA booth. We're also in the Student Summit with Modern Makers. Online, we have a website, manufacturingusa.com. com. It features each of the institutes. It tells stories about their impacts, the work that they're doing, and provides links to resources for students as well, those modern makers that I was talking about.
Yep.
So check out those resources and tell other people about them. Talk about Manufacturing Day. Go out and see what's happening in today's manufacturing. We've got to change the perception. It is not like it used to be. It is clean. There's technology coming in. Manufacturing now is technology. It
Absolutely.
really is. And so go learn more about it. Go check it out in your communities and encourage young people or workers who are looking for a job. Check out roboticscareers.org. It's a place to find anything and everything related to robotics opportunities now that's put on by the ARM Institute. We've got all sorts of other resources the Institute's put out for complementary programming, just to let people know what's out there.
Thank you so much, Zara, for being on. This was a great conversation, and I think we're now friends, so I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this episode of the Creators Lounge. Thanks again to Zara Brunner. See you next time.